Mario has had a ton of adventures, from back in the 80s all the way to the present. So today, I will dive into every mainline Mario game in chronological order, and I will discuss a bit about what it brought to the series. I will also briefly touch on some spin-off games, but my focus will be on the mainline games. Just so you know, some games will get more elaboration than others, and that's because some games had bigger impacts on the series. Anyways, this is the history of the Super Mario franchise. So as you may or may not know, Mario was initially in the 1981 game Donkey Kong back in the arcades. Back then, he was known as Jumpman, and he had to jump over barrels to save Lady, who was later renamed Pauline from Donkey Kong. This was just the beginning of one of the most iconic video game characters. In 1983, the game Mario Bros. Released. Jumpman changed to Mario, and the game was 2 players, so Mario now has a brother, Luigi, who's objectively better. This game was based on defeating enemies by hitting them from underneath. In 1985, the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES, was released. Good, we're out of the arcades. I suck at those games. Anyways, that same year, a game called Super Mario Bros. Was released. This is one of the most iconic video games ever, and it was a revolutionary platformer. It introduced so many iconic characters: King Koopa or Bowser, Princess Toadstool, later renamed Peach. Unless you live in Japan, then she was always Peach. This also introduced Toad, Goombas, and more. This game was a very fun platforming game, and if they made a sequel, I'm sure it'll be good. So in 1986, in Japan only, Super Mario Bros. 2 released. It seemed awesome, until you realize this game is really, really hard. So basically, it's the same game again, but with harder levels. And it was too hard for everyone else, so instead we got Doki Doki Panic with Mario characters, renamed Super Mario Bros. 2 in the US in 1988. This game is fun, but it just doesn't feel too much like a Mario game. It did introduce some characters though, like Birdo and Shy Guy. Later in 1988, we got another revolutionary game, Super Mario Bros. 3. This game is known as one of the best Mario games of all time, and for good reason. This game is so fun. It adds hub worlds, new power-ups, new bosses like the Koopalings and Boom Boom. Yeah, they didn't age too well. This game pushed the NES to its limits, and it is definitely worth a try. In 1989, we got Nintendo's first handheld console, and with it, Super Mario Land, which is not on Switch Online, so the footage is from Mario Land 2. This was a very small game with not the best controls, but it did introduce Daisy. In the year 1990, we got a whole new and more powerful console, the Super Nintendo or SNES. We got the first Mario Kart as well as another revolutionary game, Super Mario World. With enhanced graphics and more moves and power-ups, and just more power to make better games, we got this game. It is so fun and another one of the best Mario games that you really just have to play for yourself. In 1992, we got another Game Boy game, Super Mario Land 2, and this game was a huge upgrade from the first Mario Land. It took a lot of mechanics from Super Mario World, and this was a very good handheld game. Also, in 1994, we got Super Mario Land 3, Wario Land, which was a Wario game with the Mario Land title. In 1993, a remake of all the NES Mario games came out titled Super Mario All-Stars. This is the first time the Lost Levels or Mario 2 Japan were available in the US. In 1995, Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island released, and it was the first Yoshi game but with the title Mario World. 1996 was one of the most revolutionary years. We got the Nintendo 64 or N64 and Super Mario 64, a 3D Mario game. This game was revolutionary in so many ways. It was a 3D open world platformer Also, this was when Toadstool was first referred to as Peach in a mainline Mario game. This game added another dimension and it changed the series in many ways. Also, the N64 had the first Mario Party game. In 1998, we got the Game Boy Color, but it just had a remake of Mario 1 and no new mainline Mario game. Real quick, in 2001, the Game Boy Advance was released. And from 2001 to 2003, we got 4 remakes for the GBA. 2002 was a revolutionary year. The second 3D Mario game came out on a new console, the GameCube. However, this one had significantly improved on controls and graphics from Mario 64. Mario Sunshine is a pretty underrated game on a pretty underrated console that I don't own. In 2004, a brand new handheld hit the market, the extremely well-selling Nintendo DS that I do not own. With it, a remake of Mario 64, Mario 64 DS, came out. 2006 had a new game that, according to Nintendo, is still new. No, a game from 18 years ago is not new. New Super Mario Bros., a 2D Mario game, the first in a decade. I don't have this game, so I can't elaborate too much for this and the rest of the New Super series. I'll mention release dates, but I won't elaborate too much, and all the footage is from New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. One of the biggest Nintendo consoles released in 2007, the Wii. Why was it so big? It added motion controls, and with it, a masterpiece, Super Mario Galaxy. This game had motion controls showing off the console's abilities. However, this is when Nintendo began to fall behind on graphics. In 2009, New Super Mario Bros. Wii released. It added 4-player multiplayer. In 2011, Super Mario Galaxy 2 was released. Sadly, I don't own it, but it's a lot like DLC for Galaxy 1. 2011 had the Nintendo 3DS released, and with it, a more linear 3D Mario game, Super Mario 3D Land. I don't own it, so enjoy 3D World footage. This game was a good showcase of a handheld 3D Mario. This game, while not the most revolutionary, is still good for what it is. In 2012, New Super Mario Bros. 2, the third New Super Mario Bros. Game released, and it confirmed that Nintendo sucks at counting. Later in 2012, the Wii U released. You know, the console that 12 people bought. On the Wii U, they released New Super Mario Bros. U. And in 2013, they released DLC, New Super Luigi U. In 2013, the Wii U got its big 3D Mario, Super Mario 3D World. And while a lot of people don't love this game, I think it's good. At least the Switch version. I haven't actually played the Wii U version. This is a more linear Mario game, but it's still good and it's one of my favorites. If you want more on 3D World, check out my top 10 3D World level video after this one. So I don't count this as a mainline Mario game, but Mario Maker released in 2015, the 3DS version in 2016, and Mario Maker 2 in 2019. These games are all pretty similar, and it's basically just making your own levels. Also in 2016, Super Mario Run, the mobile game, released. Honestly, while this game is not the greatest, it's a bit underrated. Like, it's good for what it is. And it's not trying to make you spend money on it more than once. Mario Kart Tour. Anyways, you're probably watching this video on a mobile device or a computer, but wherever you're watching this video, you can like and subscribe. Anyways, let's see what happens in 2017. 2017 had the release of the Switch, and wow, this was a revolutionary, portable home console hybrid. And it has banger Mario games. Before I get into the mainline games, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is so iconic and it sold ridiculously well. Also, this console fixed Mario Party. I mean, it's not as good as it used to be, but like, they removed cars. Anyways, to the mainline games. Late 2017 started the Switch off with a banger, Super Mario Odyssey. If you've played this game, you know how good it is. This game is a masterpiece and it's one of the best 3D Marios to date. There is so much content and this game needs like a sequel or DLC or something. It's a huge open world experience and it's so much fun. 2018 had new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. That is all I have to say. 2020 had the limited time release of Super Mario 3D All-Stars, and it was remakes of Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy. I don't have too much to say, the game's a good port. So I already talked about 3D World, but Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury in 2021 was another great game. 3D World is still fantastic and Bowser's Fury is just awesome. It's one huge open world level that's a blast to run through. 2023 was when we had the last mainline Mario game at the time of making this video, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. This game completely revolutionized 2D Mario, ending the new Super Mario Bros. Era. Yeah, a game from 2006 is not new and they will not be missed. Wonder added so many new gimmicks, and while it is an easier game, it is a very fun one to play. Well, that's the history of all the mainline Mario games. I hope you enjoyed. Which years do you think had the best Mario games? Make sure to like and subscribe for more Mario content. I'll see you soon. Bye guys!